Well, look, the last person I expected to be giving out freebies off the line down into turn one was four-time world champion Max Verstappen. It just goes to show, like, there's always something you can improve. No one is perfect. Max is a great driver, a great world champion, but he was giving out free gifts down into turn one. No defensive posture, no shooting to the inside, a bad launch as well. If you're interested in the full race analysis, definitely keep watching. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Martin. I'm a specialist technical coach and mentor for open formula drivers. Let's kick off with the start because the lights did go off pretty quickly. I think that caught Max out a little bit by surprise. Maybe he was expecting a little bit of a longer delay when the 5 lights go red, but I don't think that was his problem. Even though Oscar got a 2/10 advantage due to a better reaction time, I don't think that was his problem. His problem was no defense down into turn one, no defensive posture, no preset. Max is normally pretty good at this, so this one surprised me, guys. Now, I know a lot of people yesterday came out and defended Max after I said that he kind of blew turn 22 a little bit on his lap. I think he left about 1.5 tenths on the table at turn 22 in his qualifying lap. It's just funny that people come out and like they honestly think Max is perfect. He's not perfect. There's a few weaknesses, very few weaknesses. Like he's largely excellent. Very few weaknesses crop up from time to time. We're going to call this one out on the start. So no defense from Max. We're going to talk about the penalty as well. So let's jump over to the whiteboard. I'll explain what went wrong and what Max could have done to prevent losing the lead down at turn one. All right, hopefully you can see that on the screen in front of you. Now, regular viewers of the channel will know exactly where I'm going with this. So Max is on the racing line. That's going to be on the right-hand side over here at P1. This is Max. And Oscar Piastri is down here on the inside, P2. This is Oscar Piastri over here. Now, what Max needs to do, and I'm very surprised he didn't do it, if we just draw Max in blue, what he needs to do is preset in the box, pre-angle his car across to the inside and fight and compete for this little space here. The reason being, guys, is because that the inside, breaking into the inside, that is the inside of turn one, is so much more important than you having an advantage going into turn one. You'd rather have the inside and even be slightly behind, like just kind of wheel to wheel. The inside's a lot more valuable. You can control and manage the corner from the inside. This little move here, like presetting your car, is your insurance policy in case our little friend in orange, Oscar Piastri, gets a good launch up the inside. You want to put your car across there so that Oscar has to go around. From that position, Max can control and manage the corner down into turn one. As they head down, they'll head down in that direction. It would be Max on the left-hand side, inside into turn one, and it would be Oscar on the right-hand side if Max had done his little preset and pre-move. That's not what happened. Max lined up directly straight into the box. So if I can just draw that, Max lines up straight into the box, goes straight. Oscar Piastri, obviously he's P2, so he lines up straight. He gets a better launch and gets up the inside of Max Verstappen. Normally that's like not allowed as far as Max is concerned. You don't normally see that. So as it turns out, Oscar's car is here. I think Max is here. Oscar does get fully alongside and fully up the inside of Max Verstappen going into turn one. So then from there, Oscar's in the box seat. Not only is he ahead, but he's on the inside as well. I don't think Oscar did anything wrong. He's just trying to compete for the corner and make the corner. He made turn 1 and 2. I think Max just got out of the brake, and just tried to run it around. At that point, though, I just want to call out to you, Oscar is the leading car and Verstappen is behind and the one making the overtake. So in this particular case, I think Max made an overtake off track, if that makes sense. I just want to highlight to you guys that it wasn't Max keeping the lead off track. And like, not that it really matters, actually. In both cases, you're going to have to hand the place back. But I think Max did not keep the lead off track. Actually, he lost the lead before they got down into turn 1. So Max made an overtake off track. Now, we need to talk a little bit at this point about the steward's decision and penalty. I don't understand why it has to be a 5-second penalty. Like, 5 seconds has nothing to do with the overtake off track or defense off track, or however the switching between P1 and P2. 5 seconds has literally nothing to do with that. 5 seconds is a number just plucked out of the sky, which has nothing to do with anything. Why 5? Why not 6? Why not 7? Why not 10? What is clean air worth around a track with a whole bunch of S's in the first sector, like Saudi Arabia in Jeddah? I don't know why it needs to be so complicated. Max, give the place back, carry on. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys thought of that penalty. But I thought the 5 seconds was not fair to Piastri. Now, as that first stint unfolded, Oscar could stay close within the first 10, 15 laps. But then due to the dirty air, that gap opened up to 1.5 to 2.5, maybe 3 seconds at one point. I think 2.5 to 3 was the most it got to. So had that first stint continue to unfold, you'd be looking at more than a 5-second penalty for Oscar Piastri as a result of ruining his front tires, sitting behind Max in dirty air. There's just a few things. I don't know why why does it need to be more complicated? It's an overtake off track. Give the place back. It also took a long time to come as well. I think we were doing the safety car restart and still didn't know what was going on. I don't know, stewards. Anyway, that's my little rant on that one. You guys let me know in the comments what you thought about A, the move, B, the penalty, and how all that situation was managed. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so we had the crash, obviously. So it was Tsunoda Gasly. It was down at turn 4. I'll just bring up the track map as I refer to it. Down here at turn 4. 2 into 1 doesn't go. I'm not going to apportion blame to either driver in this case. 2 into 1 doesn't go. We had, I think it was Tsunoda was the one on the inside, Gasly around the outside, and they just tried to go together. But these cars are big these days. Big cars, tight tracks, they just come together. Again, I won't apportion blame. As the safety car comes out for this crash, this is good for Lando Norris. Remember, he's starting on the hard tyre. All of the other guys are on the medium tyre. It's good in the sense that the mediums can't just sprint off into the distance and be off the hook and just run away and start to build a gap on Lando. That safety car kind of pulls them back into Lando. He's on the hard tire and he's just sitting there. He's saved about 3 or 4 laps worth of medium compound lap time against him, which is good. Pretty much any safety cars that were going to come out were going to help Lando. If one came out on lap 15, same thing. That would potentially help, although the other guys would probably pit and switch over to the hard tire. And if it did come out around 30-ish, then it's an opportunity for Lando to switch over to the mediums as well. So that safety car helped Lando. I just wanted to call that one out. In terms of the restart, Max did an amazing job, as you'd expect, as I would expect. And this is the thing, tactically, Max is really good. I'm going to show you guys what Max did on the restart, which was great. So we spoke about this in the live stream, actually, didn't we? We said if you get a restart, what do? Do you go here down the pit straight and then tow your friend all the way down the pit straight? Or do you do a little bit of weaving around, get rid of that, weaving around sort of the final corner and then go from there and bolt it down the second half of the pit straight? I think Max did the right thing, going just around the final corner. I'm not sure though. I want your guys' opinion on this as well. Max kind of half went for it and then he got out of the throttle and then he finally went again. I don't know. I think that was a little bit cheeky as well from Max. There was a point at which he was rounding the corner, looked like he was going to go and then didn't go, and then went again and pulled away. So look, all is fair, I think. Good job by Max, good restart by Max. Like I say, we discussed this in the live stream. I think that was the correct place to go because you're turning through, right? And you're always going to have the steering wheel straight before P2, who's back over here. So once you've got the steering wheel straight, you guys know you can bury the throttle and you're just going to get out of the final corner much quicker. So it was kind of a non-event. Like you guys might not have seen that. You might have just seen a nice restart. But it was a great restart by Max Verstappen. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about the use of the turn 2 curb as well. I've been banging on about this all weekend, and I've been watching and learning where I think the opportunities and lap time is. I called out a few opportunities, the braking into turn 22. I called out some opportunities braking into turn 27, the final corner as well, and the track width there. If you guys haven't seen that quali video, go check it out. But now I've got a lot more information on turn 2. And I think I was correct in what I was saying. So turn 2, this corner down here, it's a right-hander. And I was saying, I want the drivers to hook their right front tire on or into that curb if possible. It's this one down here. This is turn 2. The reason being, it's too painful to go around it. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of work has to be done. I would try to hook your tire in on turn 2. It's unloaded, obviously, because you're turning to the right. So the right front tire is unloaded into there, and it can make compliant contact with this curb. So I think that was the way to go. Now, the two drivers that I saw doing this exceptionally well, and even using a bit of the turn 1 curb as well to make this into a nice chicane, was Lando Norris driving beautifully, and Charles Leclerc as well. Guys, I mentioned Lando as well into turn 22. I thought he had the best line as well. Remember, a lot of drivers doing the straight line braking technique. That is coming out and then firing the car in with the straight line braking into turn 22. I really liked what Lando was doing, which is just coming around and just flicking the car. I thought Lando was driving beautifully all weekend, not only turn 22 and turn 2, just apart from his crash, obviously, in turn 4, which I said was more mental than technical. Like I say, if you guys haven't seen the quali video, I talk about Lando's mindset there. But I thought he had lap time on Oscar Piastri this weekend, so it's a shame that that happened for him in quali. Going to bring up a few images now and just show you guys what I'm talking about. I just took a few snaps on my phone. Hopefully you can see that on the screen in front of you. So this is George Russell. He's kind of half using the curb. I'll show you guys a few different examples as we go through, but half, meaning he's halfway up it, if that makes sense, and not fully up it. It would be too much to get your right front in on this purple area, because then you've got the car bottoming out on this very high curb. So what you want to do, George, is bring your right front a little bit higher up, as high up as possible, shortcut, and it's going to give you a nicer time through there. That was my thinking process. So it was good to see some of the drivers start to work that out in the race. I'll show you guys. So here's Leclerc. Perfect. I'm super happy with this. I would be happy with this if I was coaching Charles. This is great. This is the way it's done. Yeah, I think he did a great job through there. Like I said, Charles and Lando were the two drivers taking it really well. Here's another shot of Charles. You can just see how stable the car is. And instead of going the long way around, it's just better. You guys are just going to have to trust me on that one. We'll go through a few other drivers. Lando, this is perfect car positioning as well from Lando Norris. If we just zoom in, very similar to Charles, right front on the crest of that curb. Again, it's the unloaded side of the car that you want to make contact with. And just to accelerate from that position is also really nice as well. You can get the steering wheel straighter earlier. So good job by Lando and Charles. I'm going to just do a comparison for you guys. This is Piastri. You can see the difference, quite obvious. Lando and Charles really getting it up there on the shoulder of the curb. Piastri not really troubling it at all, and it doesn't do your front left any favors. Actually, George Russell was complaining about front left tire. It wasn't here at one point as well. This is probably one of the reasons why driving longer around turn 2. So this is Piastri, race leader, race winner. Yeah, who I think there's some lap time. There is lap time available here for him if he chooses to take it. Any other shots? Yeah, this is Kimi Antonelli. I think Kimi's got not a bad eye for curbs. Like I said, he's Italian. He's brought up in Monza and Imola. They've got chicanes like Tamburello chicane, Ascari chicane, Monza's first chicane, second chicane, Variante Alta chicane. So surely Kimi's, got an eye for chicanes. This looks good to me. I'm not sure if he was taking it like this every lap though, because I only saw a few shots of Kimi throughout the race. I also didn't get to see any shots of Max. I don't think he was doing this as much as Leclerc and Lando, but I didn't get to see too many shots of Max. So if anyone can send me a shot via email, I'd be interested to see it. Here's another shot of Lando. You can just see how much he's taking. Again, he's all over the curb. So I hope that helps you guys, because I'm just trying to call out any opportunities that I see around the track. Turn 2, the curb, there was definitely one. The braking into turn 22 and the line into 22 was one. And the use or not using the full track width at turn 27 was also another opportunity. I didn't see any drivers try that out, unfortunately. So there's opportunity for all of them to not put the right front through so much load into the final corner in turn 27. Come a step inside, brake sort of 3/4 track or mid track, you're going to get into turn 27 a lot quicker that way. So on lap 17, the gap for Piastri and Verstappen opens up to 2.4 seconds. Again, I just wanted to call that out to highlight to you guys the effect of the dirty air. In the first 10 laps, Oscar could kind of stay close, but then eventually his front tires were just running out, and then Max could stretch that gap out. So like I say, it was tough for Oscar because he had to manage that situation. And I think McLaren did a good job to pit him on lap 20, because if they continued down that path, surely at one point Max is going to open up the 5 seconds, and you don't want that. So I think it was a good job for them to pit Piastri on lap 20, get onto the hard compound tire, which was a lot quicker at that time. And also you could see throughout the race up to this point, it was very possible to pass as well. So it wasn't like you're going to be like stuck behind a car. Yeah, sure, maybe for a few corners you're stuck until you get your DRS, and maybe for a few sectors you might get a bit of error wash, but at one point you're going to come through. So I thought good move to pit Oscar from that position on lap 20 and get him on the hard compound tire. So good call from McLaren. Just a quick mention there to Oscar's pass on Lewis Hamilton into turn 22. Not the first time he's done an amazing pass on Hamilton around the outside. We saw it at turn 9 in Melbourne in the wet as well, which is pretty amazing. But this one was brave, and it was an important time to make it and get it done as well. Remember, he's competing with Max to try to stay within that 5 seconds. And this is after his pit stop. He gets it done around the outside of turn 22. So good job for Oscar Piastri. Now, look, in summary, I just can't help but feel Max handed this one. Track position was king and key. And Max shooting to the inside down into turn 1, we should have was almost certainly the play to try to keep the lead, hang on to the lead, hang on to track position as well. Like I said, it's your insurance policy if you don't get a good start. And Max paid the price for that as well. I think, again, it shined the light on the side of Max's personality as well, which is that if he does make a mistake or mess something up, he'll like claw on to any advantage he has. And I think that's a strength and a weakness. Sometimes it's a strength, sometimes it's a weakness. But what he's doing is always asking a question of the stewards. He's turning over that stone to say, are the stewards going to interpret this correctly or not? Because that's also another chance for Max to hang on to the lead. Like I said, he managed to pull out the gap to 2.5 seconds at one point. So he's, instead of Max, in his mind, just giving the place back and going back to P2, which he could have done and Red Bull could have told him to do, he's like, no, I'll ask the question of stewards. There's an opportunity there for them to mess it up. Maybe I can keep the race lead. Maybe I can eke out 5 seconds. Maybe George starts attacking Oscar and all sorts of stuff happens between P2 and P3. Maybe on the restart, George can attack. Like, Max is just opening up for those possibilities to happen. And that's why I think it was, and a very negligent call by the stewards to give 5 seconds when it was just clear all you had to do was swap the cars back. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the videos this weekend. Definitely subscribe to this channel moving forward. I'll be giving out more driving tips and secrets moving into the coming races. Just looking ahead, I have been saying all week as well, I think the Red Bull's going to struggle a lot in Miami. So keep an eye out for that in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you in the next one.